OPENAP 2023 here in Greece at Costa Navarino. Joining me is Glyn. Glyn, thank you so much for joining us again, as you always do.
Well, it's my pleasure. I mean, it's just amazing to be able to get together. And one of the things that I love, and we're only just at the opening welcome reception, is you can feel the energy, the buzz. And I think that's really what symbolizes what's great about NAP and about this event, is it brings the community together.
It really does. Now, tell us a bit about what you do, Glyn, and how times have changed in the only couple of months since we've seen you since Bali.
Well, I mean, as TIACA, we're the International Air Cargo Association, so we're a trade association which is dedicated to the air cargo industry. And just in the last few months, we've seen a couple of things. Number one, we've seen the industry continuing to have a little bit of softening demand, which of course is putting pressure on yields, but people are looking ahead and we're saying, but structurally the industry is in a great place. The global economy is in a great place. Sustainability is a topic we're talking about a lot more now than it was before, but at the heart of this industry is still the people. And as long as people get together, I think we will have a very bright and solid future.
Tell us about the future. What does it hold? What does it hold for the industry and what does it hold for TIACA?
What it holds for the industry first and foremost, because that's who we're here to serve. I think for me, 2023 for the rest of the year is going to be very challenging. We know that the global consumer base is suffering right now from increased energy costs. They're still suffering from high inflation. But the prognosis and the forecasting for 2024 onwards shows sign of, I think, a very strong resurgence in consumer activity. The global consumer base has grown by 400 million people since 2019, mostly in Southeast Asia. And as I mentioned before, we've now got China +1, China +2 when it comes to global manufacturing. Air cargo is going to be, basically, it's going to be the heart of those strategies. E-commerce is continuing to grow at double digits. And at the end of the day, the world wants things and the world wants things quicker. What better place for the industry to be, air cargo, than the center of that?
They want them now.
They want them yesterday, let's be honest. And again, it's a really important topic because normal consumer behavior means that you take ownership of what you're buying 12 seconds after you've done that financial transaction when you leave the store. When you're moving that consumer activity online, you're actually now having to try and maximize as much of the value you can from that transaction. And if you're putting on a ship, 59 days is just way too long before you take ownership. So that is just one example. The healthcare, the perishables, the fresh products. This industry is really the only mode of transport that can satisfy that demand.
And what does coming to an event like OPENAP do for TIACA and do for the industry as a whole?
Well, first and foremost for us, and I say this very selfishly, is we come here to listen because the people that attend this event, they are business owners. They're at the heart of the industry. They're working with consumers. They're working with manufacturers. So it's critical for us to understand their issues, their challenges, whether or not it's people, whether or not it's emissions, whether or not it's digitalization, technology, whatever it is. So for us, we can absorb their knowledge and then we can help turn that into programs to support the industry going forward. And I think it's great for the industry to get together, build partnerships and relationships, because that's at the center of what we do, as I said, in this complex world, is form alliances to satisfy that overall demand.
But Glyn, how do you make people listen? Now, I've seen a few of your presentations at these, and they're always very entertaining, but how do you really engage with the audience?
I'm going to actually repeat what I said before. It's because the audience knows I've already listened to what they have to say. A very wise man, Des Vatanis, told me many, many years ago, he said, Glyn, the best thing for you to do at an industry event, if you're a trade association, is to be seen but not heard. He said, listen, absorb, then aggregate what you've heard, and then play it back. And if you can play it back, I have a face for radio. I don't have a face for on-stage or in-person presentations. So if I can use humor as well to try and deflect away, and then we can open people's ears to open their hearts and open their minds. And this industry, to me, they're full of wonderful people who will share their views, and it's made my job for these last 40 years in this industry an absolute pleasure.
Well, good luck opening those ears and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you very much, Nadia. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
You too.